Hello, I'm Nadine and a very warm welcome. So today we are making the perfect dessert for fall or your Thanksgiving table, a pumpkin roll or roulade. It's an oldie but a goodie and we are going to make it like a patterned Swiss roll. So the cake will be perfectly spiced and moist and the presentation is beautiful. So let me show you how to do it. Now we are going to start with making a pattern at the bottom of the pan. It'll just look extra pretty. If you just want to make the pumpkin roll, then you would skip this part. But stay with me because it's actually oddly satisfying to watch this. Okay, so we're just going to make a simple mixture. We have some sugar, flour, that's our dry stuff, and then we just give it a mix. Then we're going to add some melted butter and eggs. And that's it, just mix, mix, mix. I've divided the batter into four. I'm going to color it yellow, orange, red and green, so like fall colors. That's looking pretty and like fall. You will need a 10 by 15-inch pan, and I just oiled it and put some parchment paper and then oiled it again. That way it will easily pop out. Don't skip the parchment paper, you need it for this recipe. So they're colored and in piping bags. If you don't have a piping bag, you can just use a Ziploc bag, and I just cut the end off. And we're just going to make stripes. We don't have to do the whole tray because it'll be rolled under and it won't show. We'll just do a bit. Once you have the stripes on, I'm just going to bang it a bit to get the air bubbles out. And now with a toothpick, we're just going to score it one way, then the other way, and we keep going till it's done. Look how pretty! So now we're just going to pop this in the fridge for about 20 minutes, and we'll make the pumpkin roll batter in the meanwhile. While the pan is chilling in the fridge, we are just going to make our pumpkin roll. So first the dry ingredients, I have 3/4 cup flour. Then we're going to add half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and then the spices: 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, half teaspoon allspice, half teaspoon ground ginger, 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg, and 1/4 teaspoon salt. Phew, that's a lot. Okay, so then we just sift this and we'll set it aside. I have 3 eggs here at room temperature. We're just going to whip them up. When they become nice and bubbly, then we'll add 1 cup of sugar. And we whip this up until it's lighter in color and nice and thick. So this is how you want it, nice and thick and This is a lot of volume and lighter in color. And I'm also going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then the pumpkin goes in, it's 2/3 of a cup. This is just pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie mix. That's really different. Now from this stage on, we're just going to lightly beat everything. Now the dry ingredients, I'll just do it in 2 parts. Actually, traditional Swiss roll or roulade is made very differently. It's actually, there's no baking powder in it, and you just rely on the air from the eggs when you whip it up, and then you gently fold everything in. But this, because we have the help of the baking powder, baking soda, and the pumpkins in there, it's okay to mix it, but not over mix. Okay, so it is ready. Let's get the tray out. So this was just chilling in the fridge. I'm just going to pour the batter on top. And we're just going to smooth this out. I'm just going to bang it a little bit. Really annoy everybody in the house. Okay, and now this will go in the oven at 375, about 12 minutes. It can take sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes. So we have to check it. We know when it's done. When it slightly pulls away from the edges, will start browning a bit. And when you sort of touch it in the middle, it springs back a little bit. You don't leave a dent in the cake. So let's do this. Okay, smelling great in here. It's out of the oven. So as you can see, this is how you know it's done. It's pulling away from the sides a bit. You can see the gap, and then when you kind of touch it, it springs back. So that's how we know it's done. So now while it's warm, we are going to turn it over. So I'm going to put some parchment paper and oil it a little bit, and then just take another surface like a chopping board or the back of another pan or something, and we're just going to flip it over. You need to use oven mitts because it's still super hot. Okay, and then we'll take this paper off. Oh, look how pretty. That's a pretty design we did. Now, if you're not making the design, then this is where you stop and you roll it. But if we want the design on the outside, so we're going to flip it again. Now, using the parchment paper, we're just going to roll it up while it is still warm. That just gives the cake a little bit of sort of muscle memory. We're just going to let this cool and make the icing meanwhile. Here is the cream cheese filling. So all we do is 8 ounces of cream cheese, 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter at room temperature, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We are just going to whip this nicely and then add 1 cup of sifted confectioner's sugar, and we'll really whip it up nicely, and that will be our filling. So I'm just going to do this in the stand mixer. Okay, so we have our cream cheese filling done. Now we're just going to unroll the cake. Just want to do this gently and slowly so we don't crack anything. If it cracks, it's not the end of the world. Just add the cream cheese. Now we're just going to roll it back. This time, no paper. Now I'm going to just wrap this in cling wrap and chill it in the fridge for an hour, and then we'll cut the beautiful slices and taste this. This was nicely wrapped up and chilling in the fridge. What that does is it firms up the icing so it's easier to cut. So what we'll do is the end pieces don't look great, so we'll just make clean cuts with a sharp serrated knife just so you can see the swirl. Then I will transfer it onto a serving plate. Now these 4 leaves that I made earlier, I'm just going to decorate with that so it looks extra pretty. Look how pretty! Let's taste this. So it has a perfect little swirl. So exciting! Yummy, yummy, yummy. So the cake is perfectly spiced and moist and sweet, and the cream cheese icing is a little bit tangy, so it's the perfect combination. The full recipe will be on my website nadineali.com, and I will link that in the description below. Please try this recipe. If you do, I love hearing about it, either in the comments below this video or tag me on Instagram. Come say hi there. And please remember to subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss anything. I have baking and dessert recipes and pretty presentation ideas for you to enjoy. I hope you share this with your loved ones. Until next time. So this is me chilling in the oven. No, not the oven, fridge.